Today, we're going to dive into this really powerful story. It's all about what happens when one person decides to challenge, well, everything their world believes in. This is the story of Abraham's stand. So let me ask you something right at the start. What does it actually take to challenge something you know is wrong? Especially when everyone, and I mean everyone around you, thinks it's right. Just, keep that question in the back of your mind as we get into this. All right, so to really get why Abraham's actions were so radical, we've got to paint a picture of the world he was living in. So, try to imagine this. You live in a place where people's entire faith, their entire spiritual life, is centered on objects. We're talking statues made of stone and wood. People would literally bow down to them, worship them as gods. This wasn't just some fringe thing. It was the absolute, unquestioned norm. It was the very fabric of their whole society. But in this world where everyone just went along with it, there was one person asking a really simple but totally profound question. Abraham is looking at these statues, these silent, unseen things, and he's thinking, wait a second, how can something that can't even hear or see be my God? And that one little question, that was the spark that was about to light a huge fire. So what happens when a question like that just gets too big to keep inside? Well, it explodes into action, right? This is the moment Abraham's private doubts become a very, very public act of defiance. And get this wasn't just some random act of vandalism. No. This was a plan, a really clever, calculated move. Abraham, he waits for the perfect time, right when the whole city is gone for a festival. He walks into the temple, totally alone with all these silent gods, and that's when he puts his brilliant plan into motion. He grabs an axe and just systematically smashes every single idol. Can you imagine the sound of that echoing through the empty temple? But here's the genius part. He smashes all of them, except for the biggest one. And he leaves the axe right in that big idol's hands. That was the final brilliant piece of the puzzle. Okay, so as you can probably guess, something like this was not going to go unnoticed. The story is about to pivot to this showdown, that inevitable confrontation. It's one man and his belief against the absolute fury of an entire town. So when everybody gets back from the festival, they find their temple is just destroyed. Their gods are in pieces. And that initial shock, it turns to pure rage in a heartbeat. Who did this? They're all shouting. Who would dare? And this is where the contrast is just wow. You've got this furious, shouting mob on one side, and on the other, Abraham is completely calm. He doesn't even confess. Instead, he turns their own beliefs right back on them. He basically says, hey, why don't you ask the big guy over there, the one with the axe? Maybe he knows. Boom, the trap was set. And you know what? The crowd goes silent because they know. They know deep down a statue can't talk, it can't swing an axe. In one single sentence, Abraham just blew a hole right through their entire belief system. But here's the thing about human nature. When a belief you've held your whole life gets shattered, you don't always go, oh, you're right. A lot of the time, you get angry. And that's what they did. They turned all that rage on him, the guy who told him the truth, and they sentenced him to be burned alive. So this is it. This is the ultimate test. Abraham stood by his truth, and now he has to face the fire. Literally. This is the climax of the whole story. So as they throw him into this massive bonfire, the story says a command comes from on high. A command spoken not to the people, but to the fire itself. Just a few simple, powerful words that changed everything in that moment. And just like that, the fire that was supposed to consume him just cools down. It becomes completely harmless, and you can just imagine the looks on everyone's faces as Abraham simply walks out of that furnace without a single burn on him, totally unharmed. Wow, what a story. So what do we take away from all this? I mean, it's pretty clear it's about more than just old statues and a miracle fire, right? This story is tapping into something universal. What this story really gives us is a powerful definition of what true conviction is. See, it's not just about believing something in your head. It's having the guts, the courage to stand up for that truth, even if it feels like you are standing completely alone against the entire world. And that brings us right back to where we started. That ancient story, it's really a mirror, isn't it? It makes us ask ourselves, what are the stone idols in our lives today? The ideas or conventions we just accept without really thinking about them. And maybe the most important question of all, what truths are so important to you that you'd be willing to face the fire for them?